Hsieh is most well known as the founder and CEO of Loan Depot.
I think it's safe to say he knows of what he speaks when it comes to this industry.
And Anthony's vision for how technology could transform an outdated industry established him as a trailblazing disruptor of the status quo.
There's something on the other side of that mountain, and I want to go around it or over it or dig a ton underneath it. I want to see what's on the other side.
But the titan of business is only one part of Anthony's story.
My journey is far from being over.
Till the day we die, baby!
Fish on, baby.
I am an immigrant. I came here when I was 8 years old. My dad was born in Beijing, my mother born in Shanghai. I still remember when I landed at LAX, my dad looks over at me very proud and said, "Son, we made it. We're here. All we needed was a chance."
But right now, I'm still super curious. And that's one of the reasons why, fishing has gotten into my blood. 70% of the world is saltwater. And you start studying, weird me, right? You start studying the equator and the Tropic of Cancer and all these things because it's deep.
I've always had a deep love of the ocean. Way back, that is me on the left there without a shirt. That's my cousin. And this was my first vessel, a 17-foot Boston whaler.
17 years old, I drove down to Cabo. I didn't have any money, but I went. So that was my world tour at that time. It just continued because my resources have changed. Once I got familiar with Cabo, I stretched it out to south of Mexico. We stretched it out to Costa Rica. We stretched it out to Panama. And then I stretched it out to Kona, Hawaii. I had a boat there, actually a couple of boats there, and a house for 18 years. But I had to stay within 5 hours of the flying because of my responsibilities.
Please join me in welcoming Anthony Hsieh.
I have so many things to tell you about my life journey so far. What is it like to be a CEO and a founder? Passion is what fuels your consistent engagement because you're going to go through peaks and valleys. You're going to go through challenges. In the course of my career, I've been fortunate enough to surround myself with great people. And I recognize there is a tremendous opportunity to come in with a new digital forward, consumer forward company. So I started the company in January of 2010, not only as an immigrant, but as a minority, coming up the ranks in the 80s, 90s. Nobody took me seriously. I had to fight my way through it. But winning isn't easy, and winning takes time. If you give me smart people that have fire in the belly and give me a little bit of time, I'm gonna win.
To all the Loan Depot team that's here in the park today and the Loan Depot team that's across the country, welcome to your new home.
And then I lost my best friend, my dad, 3 years ago. And then COVID hit. So it was like a 1-2 punch, man. Lost my best friend and my dad within 57 days of each other. I'm at home, staring at a laptop, doing 10 hours of Zoom meetings a day, saying to myself, I can climb the Forbes list if I keep working for another 10 to 15 years. But it's just not worth it for me anymore. I'm gonna go do what I wanna do. I hired a CEO for my company that I founded. So outside of doing strategy and being chairman of the board, my full-time job is making sure that this world tour stays alive. Success is not about your bank account. Success is about what you make to create peace for yourself. The world tour really is just a continuation of 40 plus years, man.
You know, fishing is not something new to me. Hopefully when I make it at 85 years old and I'm in a rocking chair and I talk to all my grandkids, hopefully I get to talk about that one fish. That one fish. The one fish that I've seen, that I lost, the fish that I see in my dreams. If I'm able to capture that fish, that would be the ultimate positive ending. But if we don't, fishing's fishing. There's no guarantees, right? I mean, that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about fishing is you just don't know. It keeps you on a cliffhanger. You just don't know if you need to give it another day. So, you know, when we're doing these trips, we're fishing 12 hours a day, sun up to sundown. We don't miss a single day. I don't take a half day to relax at the beach. So we're trying to maximize our chances, and by the end of 2025 or 2026, if we're able to get that one fish that I can talk about that becomes sort of my number one fish, that'd be great. I just want to be able to see something that is bigger than what I've ever seen before.
How big is that?
1,500.
There's more money spent on space, billions and billions and billions, than we are with understanding our own oceans. And I think that is a mistake. We should be concerned about how the ocean is decaying, how the ocean is depleting and overfishing. But it's interesting as we travel the world, every place has its own fishing technique, but I don't think there's enough of international collaboration to really figure out what they need to do to preserve the earth. 70% of the earth is water. So if we don't govern any of that stuff and really understand the ocean, it could be a point that of no return.
People have asked me what my job description is, and I just put my head in my hands and I don't know what to tell them. I said, how much time do you have? And then I said, basically, what I can tell you is my job is to find fish over 500 pounds. Well, I started out on the sport boats as a kid when I was 13 years old, and then when I was 17, bought an unfinished commercial boat and put motors in it and outfitted it and left, graduated from high school a half a year early and went fishing. Never looked back. I've been living out of a duffel bag ever since. So right when I first started with Anthony, went into his office, had an interview, good chemistry, fun time, got to talk about a few things, and he said, well, let's think about it. Went down to Mazatlan, I was fishing at a tournament, and somebody said, Steve, Anthony's on the phone, and I'm like, Anthony's on the phone? I picked up the phone, he goes, I just bought your boat. and I thought, wow, okay, I get it. Here we go.
That was a hell of a move, Cappy. That was a hell of a move.
Watch these two.
Yeah, you guys doing awesome. Yep. No angles, no tangles is what we say.
You guys have fished together how many years now?
20.
20 years.
20 years.
We had a great team. We had a great group of guys, and yeah, we crushed it in the tournaments for a lot of years.
And including the Bisbee's Black and Blue. So that was amazing.
That was like a monumental moment. Anthony's he's a heck of a fisherman in his own right. I 100% of the time know what he's going to do, and he can feel what I'm going to do, and it comes from all the years that he was driving. He knows, okay, the boat's got to do this, and I know the same things.
Grander hunting is difficult. It's costly. And it's not just costly from a budgetary point of view. It's costly of your life. I mean, this year I'm going to spend 1/3 of my life chasing big trophy blue and black marlin. 1/3. So forget the budget for a second. That means I have 1/3 less days to perform life things. It's just very, 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 very different. And I keep myself in shape. Every day I run. Every other day I lift. I got to make sure that I'm well prepared. Some of these days I catch 5 blue marlins, 6 blue marlins, 7 blue marlin. Each one of these fish, I'm in the chair for 15 to 30 minutes. We raised 10 fish today, 7 out of 10, and 5 were over 600.
Yeah.
So 4 of the largest ones all came on the pitch bait. and we just can't believe it, man. Can't believe it.
A 9, a couple 8s. Yeah, stupid, ridiculous fishing.
The dream is catching the biggest fish on rod and reel in the history of humans. That's the dream. The dream is to catch the biggest billfish ever caught on rod and reel. I know they're swimming around. It might as well be us to catch it.
I'm always excited about going somewhere new. This is a big, big world, and I've seen a lot of it, but there's still a lot to see. So the idea is kind of this. You've got 2 big support boats, the 150, the 175. Each one of them carries their own smaller game boats. So on here, we're carrying the 33 LNH. We're also going to be supporting a new 57 Spencer. So in the Atlantic, it's going to be this boat, the 150, the 33 on the back, and the 57 on its own bottom. And then it'll run to Madeira and meet this boat and the 33 in Madeira. So that's going to be, Madeira, Azores, Cape Verde, Angola, Senegal, the coast of Africa.
We have developed a really good team. Every place we're going, you could spend a lifetime to get really good at it. We're going to go through there and try the best we can, but the fishing that we do is super precision, and you take a little bit from every fishery and put it into all the other ones, and it's the sum total of all those years' experience and times and different fisheries and wind patterns and current direction, and you try and make the most of it.
It's all about coverage, and we're gonna have a boat in every ocean, and we're gonna have a boat in every Marlin season. It's just the most aggressive sport fishing program that I know of.
It'd be really interesting to get into this water that we've never been to before, right? We don't know the current. You don't know how it works every day, right? You don't know the baits.
You don't stop until the job's done, no matter what. That was kind of always my motto with all my guys. Every one of them, you could ask them right now to this day, and they're going to tell you whatever it takes.
I'm Captain Kevin Bohannon. We're here in Palm Beach, Florida, about to load the 57 Spencer Bad Company on the ship, heading toward Palma de Mallorca, Spain, where we're going to pick it up and venture out 1,000 miles outside into the Atlantic and end up in Madeira, fishing there for 6-7 weeks, heading to the Azores after that. Basically starting off our world tour right now.
So we're just getting ready to leave for Madeira today. Everything's all shut down now. We spent the last few days getting ready for the crossing.
I try to go out of my way to share our experience. I just started to post on Instagram, just fairly recent. So I just decided, you know what, for anybody that lives in the area, just come on by and pick up a t-shirt. And once I made that invitation, and it just kind of blew up from there.
Anthony just put it out there on social media, and immediately, like, everybody is here. I mean, these are hardcore fishing people that are watching Anthony.
I'm from New Jersey. I heard about this world tour send-off. Knew I had to be here, booked a flight the next day.
I decided to drive here from California when I found out this was happening.
Today is just a quick celebration for the 150 crew. They're leaving Saturday for the community to kind of get involved. We got 1,000 shirts here.
It's going to do something like nobody has ever done before.
This is the best program on earth.
You don't really understand the gravity of the whole big program until you start talking to them about it and what they expect to do with it. I mean, you can see it's epic.
This boat is like mind-blowing, man. This is awesome.
I know how thrilling it is for people that love boats and love fishing just to see a program and to have an inside look.
Love the transparency that Anthony really gives us into this world of fishing that we would otherwise never really see or understand. It's a world tour. It's not just one place, one boat. It's multiple boats carrying other boats all across the world. He is the only guy who's done this. He's the only guy that I believe can pull this off.
It's really hard to put something together like this. It takes a perfect storm to make something like this happen. It's going to be a great adventure.
Fishing is the perfect blend of adventure, travel, machinery, horsepower, data collection, curiosity, technique, preparation, gear. It's got everything. And that's part of the addiction because you will never figure it out.
But man, I'm just pumped. I only been to Madeira once, and I chartered a boat, so I've been wanting to fish there all my life, and it's happening. You know, these hundreds of hours and a lot of funding and lots of chaos, lots of planning. Tomorrow is it. I mean, we're getting on the jet now. We're fueled up. It's an 8-hour flight, and we're going straight when we land. We should be landing around 6:30. We're going straight to the Spencer, and we're gonna put them in. Fish on, baby. Let's go.
Having the jet really gives us flexibility. Also saves a lot of time, obviously, because on every leg that we do, we're doing 3 trips. So that first trip is really critical. So the fishing team generally gets there before me. They fly commercial, and they're there about 2, 3, 4 days before me, making sure that everything is secure and we're ready to go. On trip 2, they usually will travel with me because they don't really have to get there before me. And keep in mind that we have a full staff of 7 on the mothership that is there caring for the game boat, which is the Spencer 57 or the LNH 33, depending on where we are. Some of these countries that we go into, here we come with a 150 footer and a 57 footer, and they ask the purpose of our visit. Our purpose of our visit is sport fishing. And they just doesn't register with them. Why you would move a boat thousands of miles just to come for the sport of fishing, because they think that we're going to be down there harvesting commercial fishing so that we can sell the fish. So sport fishing is still very much mysterious.
Right in the corner of the mouth.
I think for us, just like any organized team, you got to feel the positive vibe on the boat. You got to be able to feel like that you have good energy. You can do all the preparations you want, right? But every team has really this culture, this feeling, this positive energy, and that's what we try to maintain at all times. Because you're going to have slow days, and when you have slow days, you still got to remain very, very positive. And this is very different from Mag Bay striped marlin fishing, where you hook 200, 300 a day. Sometimes you go 4 days for one bite. So if you don't have positive vibes on the boat, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. And I think the longest was we went 8 days with no blue marlin bite. We didn't even see one for 8 days. And that's 80 plus hours of trolling.
Oh, there's one. There's one there.
So one of the things we really felt is the overall positive spirit of people from Madeira. Here comes, quote unquote, rich guy with this big boat, but they were so authentic and genuine. They were so welcoming.
I saw you guys in Bad Company for many months. Being here and being on your boat, it's an honor. You guys are the best. You guys are living every fisherman's dream, the best fishing adventure in the world. Not just now. This will last forever.
I think everybody's always chasing the all-tackle world record, but it's very difficult to go out and come up with a strategy to go out and win the lottery. Right? Somebody wins the lottery. Somebody's going to catch the all-tackle world record. But to go out and catch it, I think it's a tough call. But yeah, of course, we would love to be able to see something like that. Do I feel like we're in competition with other motherships? No, not at all. We're always in competition with ourselves. I did 20 years of tournament fishing. That's where it's competition. Everybody's created equal, at least to the point of fishing location and rules, etc. Part of our responsibility here is to encourage the sport of fishing. is to make certain that everybody understands the passion of fishing and to unite the community. And at the same time, for us to hopefully inspire the next generation. I'm sure there are 15, 20, 25-year-olds out there right now that are watching this. And if they are fortunate and have the financial resources, maybe in their 30s, 40s, or 50s, they'll do something that would overshadow what we've done. Because by that time, you might have drones that may, carry a mothership. I mean, you just don't know what the heck is going to happen. So, no, I don't think that we're in competition with any other mothership program. Our program is unique to us, and it's more for us to live out our dreams more than anybody else.
So we were going to give a tuna away.
Thanks, Kevin.
We caught 2 tuna.
And we were going to give one away. And so this commercial guy, a little bitty in a bathtub boat, super nice people.
Santa Barbara.
And they were cruising by, and we flagged them down, and they kept trying to get out of our way, and we kept trying to give them hand signals to tell them we wanted to give them a fish. And they pulled up to us, and we threw them a line with a tuna attached to the tail. And they gaffed it, and as they were pulling it over the side, the gaff ripped out, and the young man in the bow, the line slipped through his hand, and tuna was sinking out underwater under the boat. And kind of did this weird planed up, and we're all yelling, jump in the water, and we thought the young man in the bow was going to jump in the water, but as it was, the old guy that looked like me, Elmer Fudd looking guy, does this killer looking swan dive out
with his shoes on,
with all of his clothes on.
Yeah. We gave him a tail rope, and somehow somebody forgot to tie the tail rope onto their little dory boat, and the tuna went sinking down. There's 3 generations there, a father, grandfather, and the son, and they're just watching this thing sink, and the grandfather with tennis shoes and jeans on jumps in the water, and he was down there for a long time, and Dave was ready to go in and save him. We thought, maybe something bad happened, and I don't know, after 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds, he pops up and he got it. He got that tuna. So that was one of the crazier moments too. Yeah, and then we get home 2 days later, I get messaged on Instagram of the grandson that was on the boat. He messaged me and said he's been following that company for a year, and it was an honor to pull up to the boat. But he said, I was afraid my grandfather was gonna die because he was down there for over a minute.
I got it.
And there's the rest of the world to explore as the world tour deepens. There is a direction, and that direction is you're going to spot 1, which is Madeira, which is very well known, very civilized, easy to get to. And as each leg of the world tour starts to add up, you're going to see a lot more legs into very exotic territory. And our challenge as fishermen and our challenge scheduling the world tour is FOMO. And that is, the fear of missing out. I can tell you one thing, we're never going to miss out Azores. So no matter what, August and September, we're going to be in Azores. As an angler that's been pulling on fish with various different size tackle and various different size of fish, pulling on these 7, 8, 9 plus wild animals is just
it's just such a treat. In 20 days, I think I've caught more big fish over 700 pounds than my 40-year Marlin fishing career in these 20 days. So it gives you an idea what travel fishing can do with a little bit of planning.
Oh! Fucking big fish, man! Still there? Okay, let me... Is it on?
He's on the right.
No, it's not on.
There it is.
He's trying to eat the other fucking lure. Let it eat it. I did, and he fucking didn't stop eating it. Still there.
Oh.
I'm not eat it. Lock it up. No, not there.
It's on it. That thing's big. That's a big fish.
Bad company! Till the day we die, baby!
I gotta complain about the morning commute. It's just way too many steps. And what were you doing? You sleeping?
No. Steve was looking at the binoculars and go, this is a messed up day. This is terrible. And all of a sudden, zzz, light went off. And
Steve got his whining going. He says, I think I made a mistake by coming here. I think this is
Oh, there he comes. There he comes. There he comes. We're doing a recap. Come here.
No. Yeah.
Second you got.
Come on.
So they were just saying that you were whining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty typical.
And when you whining,
Got
the round off.
Gotta get a good whine going. Nothing like a little whine.
He said, this is a bad place. And looking at the binoculars.
I said, this sucks.
As soon as you said that,
It's an honor being on the boat with all of you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
But to have James Roberts steering the chair for me,
Pleasure.
that's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
That's pretty awesome. I feel his hair rubbing against me once in a while. You know?
Just so long as you don't start liking it.
Cheers, brother. That is awesome. These fish, they're worn out in 15 minutes. They're worn out. It's not something that we do anything different. We just keep constant pressure. We typically don't like to hot dog the boat in reverse because it's fishing 101. If you got pressure on the fish, right, from a stationary, sort of position, you would never dip your rod to have a loose line.
right? So if you don't want to dip your rod and have loose line, there's no reason for you to hot dog back at 8 knots if the angler can't keep pressure on. So we constantly have that pressure on the fish. And generally, you know, the earlier you get the fish, the better chance for survival after release. And better chance of, you know, you not pulling the hook or something else happening. So if you hook a fish right, if it's hooked right, even if it's hooked wrong, you much rather get that fish in 20 minutes than 30 minutes, just because you got an additional 10 minutes for that hook to pull anyways. So we constantly just keep pressure on, and we usually take a fish. We've only had 2 fish go over 30 minutes in our world tour so far.
Take it in. It's stone dead, huh?
Right in the corner of the mouth.
Yeah, let's get him out. What? 10 minutes.
Piece of shit. That's exactly what Steve did. Steve did last night. Anthony.
That's why he doesn't want to pair the fucking load.
I gotta thank everybody, especially Anthony, for letting us have this opportunity to put this all together with all my good friends, my son, good friends. And it's a blast. Having the time of my life. Glad we're getting to do it now.
It's started, man.
Just started.
It's a real gift. It's a real treat. We don't know how long this is going to go. We just don't. We have intentions, but you know, we're away from our family, we're away from our life. You know, doing lots of traveling, and we got 7, 8 boats that we have to maintain and position and get insured, and we have a new one, the 175, that's being built. We need personnel, we need everybody to work as a team. There's going to be bruised egos, there's going to be, all types of stuff, and when you get a bunch of guys together, and it just takes a while, it takes a little bit to manage. So hopefully we can keep this going as long as we can, because a program like this is not forever. It's perishable.
Key is personnel, really. I mean, you can have the budget, you can have your assets with your boats, you can buy the electronics, you can hire consultants to put together if you don't have the knowledge, but without the proper team and the consistency of the team, and to have an all-star team, just like anything else, you won't be able to sustain any sort of longevity. And they're all passionate about traveling, adventure, and going after this fish of our dreams, which could come any given day. So every day there's the heightened sense of anticipation of us catching that fish. And absolutely, particularly Steve Lasley and Kevin Bohannon, OB, and David Lasley, the guys that are on the fishing team, every day we're waiting for that one time. The most challenging leg, I would say Australia. It just that it was so far. We didn't have a mother boat. We were not familiar with the area. You know, we encountered some tough fishing. But that said, we're going to go back. We love the area, we love the country, we love the people, and I think you know, having a mothership there with 175 and the 50 in the 2025 season, really looking forward to it. But I think that was our first long distance trip, and that made it difficult. But we're becoming experts now because we're able to adjust to 8, 10, 12 hours time difference. But when we just started, you know, Madeira is a nice, you know, sort of baby step because, you know, you're only looking at, I think, 5 hours time change from East Coast. But you go to Australia, it's a totally different story. So hopefully we have another opportunity in 2025 to get there.
How are you?
I'm about as excited could be. 28 hours of travel, baby.
Isn't that crazy? Here we are with Captain Steve. He's one of the legends here on the reef, where he's going to show us where they live out here, and he's going to be running the show as we get out there. I'm going to be running the sonar for him. We're going to try and figure out where some of these bigger fish are. How long have you been fishing here, Steve?
This is my 32nd year on the reef up here, so yeah, I've been here a few years. Started in '87 there. We've just missed a couple of years because of the COVID problems, but we're back to fishing, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, man, time to go fishing for sure.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the plan. We're just going to go out and do a bit of bait fishing this morning on the way out. We'll fish Linden Bank today. We'll be back in at South Opal tonight. It's a nice little anchorage there. The mothership's there waiting for us. So then we'll work out where the fish are on the reef and where we're going to go from position the boat the next day. So yeah, hopefully there's still Linden Bank where the boys have been catching quite a few nice ones lately. So that's where the good starting point.
Cool.
Here we go.
Here we go.
First day we sonared quite a few fish on a bank pretty close to here. Kind of got the feel of it.
Oh yeah. He just tried to. He just tried to eat it. I saw him in the camera.
What makes us unique is the fact that we're the first team that I know of that fished in our own program within a few months of Southern Hemisphere and the Northern Hemisphere in a different ocean. We went from Australia to South Atlantic to North Atlantic, all within really the same 6 or 9 month period of time. And that's really never been done before. The previous motherships, because of the fact that technology was different back then, they have to convert motherships that travel 8 or 9 knots, and many of them towed boats. So the going from location to location is a lot more problematic.
Hi, I'm Seth Casey from Atlantic Princess. We're here with the Bad Company crew chasing the giant black marlin out here at number 3 Ribbon Reef, Great Barrier Reef. I've been mothershipping and super yachting in Australia for 30 years around the world, and it's great to have this team here in this big event, this world tour.
those flyers.
You know, the adventure, the excitement, and just experiencing something and staying outdoors is really important. This has been something that I've been wanting to do really my entire life. I just didn't know, as I matured in life, I just didn't know what my resources are, and I didn't know what my capabilities are. You know, if I had a 21 to 25 foot, you know, center console right now, I'd be doing the same thing. I just wouldn't be stretching it out as far. But it's very important for us to stay to our objective and not get sidetracked to our objective. Our objective in this world tour is to explore the world in search of giant marlin. And we're going to do that until we can't do it anymore.
Some nicer fish. Just kind of got our footing and traction on what to expect here. The dead bait fishing is something that we haven't really done that well or done that much of, and especially big dead bait. And it was a real eye opener. It was pretty neat.
One of my favorite parts is catching the bait. Baits are beautiful. They're like,
yes, we all know
10, 12 pound baits.
We all know that you catch bait.
Yes.
Catch all the bait.
This morning, and Kevin was verbally abusing me. I'm kind of an older guy, and he was picking on me. How'd that go for you, Kevin?
Not too well.
I'm sorry, I couldn't a little louder.
I think I lost $25.
And what was it? $5 a fish, so it's 5-0. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I don't know if they all qualified.
All right.
Bold, that's it.
Numbers, baby.
Yeah, that's it. We're quantity over quality at the moment. But yeah. Today,
hey, what do you think of that accent?
Pretty cool, huh? For all you females out there, we're gonna, you know, when we edit this, we'll put his Instagram on the bottom.
He's actually from Michigan.
Sheboygan. Sheboygan, Michigan.
Sheboygan, Michigan.
Yeah. And Today.
Yeah, today we got a couple, well, 2 bites. Let one go at a distance.
I did move to Palm Beach, so I adapted the Palm Beach release.
Palm Beach release.
Yeah,
Palm Beach release.
counts over there.
Oh, then we get to count a couple more other fish.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Palm Beach release, baby.
I like this.
No haters from Palm Beach.
So, nah, it's been good.
The old if you can see the swivel.
Yeah.
A little bit bumpy, a little bit grumpy out there, not too bad.
Definitely
but
some weather.
Hanging on a little. Thank goodness for gyro stabilization.
Yeah, typical Cairns weather.
Crappy with a chance of rain.
That's it.
You know, one of the crazy moments in Australia is we got hit with a 50-year storm, and we almost lost the Viking onto the beach. That was crazy, and you guys seen it in the video because you guys see me screaming at David and telling David that we're still tied up, and then he took the knife and he cut the dock line.
It's still tied up! You're still tied up! Hold on, you're still tied up!
You know, I mean, we try to keep some of the stuff private, but man, I don't think we've said this, but we actually hit the reef. We actually hit the reef with the boat. Don't ask me what happened, but just know that we kissed the reef with the bottom of our boat, and that ended the trip. So that was a real scary moment. You know, some of it is not just catching fish. I would say the trip that stands out the most is when my plan to anchor the 150 at the Royal Charlotte Bank didn't work. So we've anchored that 150 in snotty conditions before. You know, she's pretty skinny. She's got pretty big fins for at-rest stabilizers. So, you know, it could be blowing 20 knots and white capping, and she's pretty darn stable. And where, you know, you can still sleep and no issues at all. Well, you know, mastermind here forgot to check the currents. So the wind was 20 knots, 15 to 20 knots. The problem is the current was pushing the boat. So when you're anchoring, it's completely, the wind is hitting the beam. So it was impossible for us to anchor. So we had to anchor back at the beach. And the problem with that is now you have to run a 33-foot L&H, 45 nautical miles every day into the wind, or I should say into the swell. So that was pretty fun. We got used to it, took plenty of Advil, and we had a blast. We had a blast in Brazil.
We're here in Brazil. Got wrapped up in Australia and came over here and getting ready to go fishing. We got the LNH getting fueled up. Been camping out on the mothership, staying here for the next couple weeks and fishing every day. Give this baby a try. We haven't fished her yet, so see how she does.
Morning.
Morning. All right, those are cranking. Sauce is looking good.
It's our second day here and figuring some stuff out. It's a pretty cool area, really vast area with a tremendous amount of ground we have to cover. Day one of fishing, baby. Here we go. Brazil. I feel like I'm playing a video game. Whichever direction we go, up, swell, down, swell, it doesn't really matter. Kind of pounds our brains out. So it's a little challenging at times. But today we started the day out and we caught a skipjack going off into the deep right away, a real big one. And then we caught a dorado, we caught a sailfish, we found some thinning swordfish, which was really awesome, quite cool. They looked like one female with a bunch of males around it maybe. They were all finning in real close proximity to each other. I'd never actually seen that before, that many of them so close together. Kind of cool, I liked it.
Just got into the airport, ran 30 or 40 minutes out here where we're anchored. You can tell it's really interesting here, right? A lot of clay, it's a little muggy, a little humid, and just had a quick lunch. We're gonna go fishing.
This trip felt like a true adventure, which is totally different from like a Madeira or Azores where everything is, pretty set up and you come back to land every night and order pizza. But I don't even know what Brazil looks like. I landed, you guys met me at the airport, put me in the van. I got off the van, walked 5 steps into the inflatable, ran out here, and I've been out here for almost 2 weeks. We could be in Singapore and I wouldn't know the difference.
This spot here is Royal Charlotte Bank. It is huge, but it's mainland fishing. This is very different from island fishing. We broke the autopilot one day. We broke the sonar a couple of days. And, oh, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. We had 9 consecutive days of blue marlin, 8 consecutive days of marlin over 500 pounds. Out here, so running 45 nautical miles and up to 6-foot seas is not by design, but we're happy to be here. Running 45 nautical miles again on this little jet ski. Breakfast of champions.
Oh yeah, baby. Nice sponsorship.
Backs are hurting. So like, there's 2 different thought process, right? Number 1 is really leverage the information that the greats and the legendary travel teams have done before. And there's been some amazing travel teams. And if you really look at sport fishing, it's pretty new. Right? Fishing, catching fish for consumption has been around for forever. But sport fishing, catching fish for fun, and targeting specific fish is arguably only 100, 110 years old, right? So targeting trophy marlin really is 30, 40 years old, right? You can say it's been a little bit further, but really, to really focus on it and have the machinery and have the right type of boats and electronics, it's pretty modern stuff. North Atlantic is a lot more discovered, and certainly that makes sense because 70% of Americans are on the East Coast from New York all the way down to Florida. So the proximity makes a lot of sense. So from Azores to Madeira down to Cape Verde, the proximity to where Americans are and where machinery stretches out makes a lot more sense. So there's a lot more data and a lot more of these areas that are known just because of the previous motherships and legendary teams. But if you start stretching that out to South Atlantic, only a few mothership teams have been down there. I think a handful, less than a handful, and we're one of them.
My name's James Roberts. I grew up in Corpus Christi, Texas, on the coast. I was always working on little charter boats and stuff in the summertime, and I decided what I really wanted to do is be on those big white boats with those gold reels. And an opportunity came for a boat that was passing through Texas, and I got a job on it, and I left and never went back.
My name is Vitor Moura. I grew up over here in Ilhéus, Brazil. I was started fishing with James and the French Look when they come for the first time here in Ilhéus. It was a good opportunity for me, and it was a great honor to be sitting right here right now with this great captain, great person. I started in '98 when I met him, and so far it was very good for me, for my life, and I've been traveling around the world, met great people, fishing, learned a lot, and that's I'm here right now in this great boat. It's awesome, when you have doors open for you like that.
I had no idea that I'd be back here sitting next to Vito on another mothership program. What's kind of ironic is I spent my 40th birthday right here, very close to where we're anchored up right now, and I had no idea that I'd be back here for my 65th.
Yeah. Go away.
This is day one for me. Trip 2, Lake 4 in Brazil. We're a little further out than we usually fish. Starting out this morning, water's heating up a little more than what we like, so we're running to the edge of trying to find some cooler water for the larger females that we're targeting. Captain Kevin Bohannon's at the wheel. Another thing we're doing for this trip, we're pretty excited about, is we're partnering out with IGFA, and this came out of Stanford University and Barbara Bloch's laboratory. This is the satellite tag here, everybody. So this is the tag stick right here. We're getting ready for it, and she's going to be swimming around with this thing, and it's designed so that it pops up. It actually comes out of the fish after 200 plus days. And then once this thing pops up to the surface, then it will send all the data so that we can learn about her behavior for the last 200, 250 days. It'll track where she goes, how deep she goes, how far she goes, how fast she goes. But I think it's really important how far these females really go. And by the way, these things are almost $5 grand a piece. So all in the sake of science and for us to continue to do our small part on trying to shape some of the fisheries. Okay,
The 800 is significant because we put a satellite tag in her. And we're just excited because we're going to hopefully deploy and financially sponsor probably 20 or so tags throughout the world tour for the next 2.5 years. And we're going to put them in large females because we believe that the females behave differently in the ocean. They travel different migratory patterns, different obviously mating habits than the males. And we're just really excited to share the data and partner with IGFA and other scientific bodies to try to study the behavior of these fish so that we can continue to promote our sport and for everyone to enjoy fishing for years to come. It's like a NASCAR team, man. We pull in, these guys jump on, they wash the boat, they provision for us in the morning, they fuel. It's really a dream come true. We were just talking on the way back. I worked all my life for this, to be here. Leveraging relationships that I made through 40 years of fishing and just the love of the game. For us to put in all this time for the love of fishing. There's no marinas there. There's no docks there. There's not even fuel stations there. So without having a mothership, you really can't fish Brazil. And that's true for many other areas that we're going to encounter. Now, you want to fish Madeira, you want to fish Azores, you want to fish Cape Verde, there is infrastructure there. So, you just need to get your game boat there, get your fishing boat there. But once you get your fishing boat there, there's restaurants, there's fuel stations, and there's hotels. So you can go fishing. You just have to get your boat there and figure out how to fly there. But if you're going to go to Angola or go to Abidjan or go to Brazil, and Brazil doesn't even have a marina. So without the mothership, it's absolutely impossible. So when we were fishing Brazil, we come back, we never even touched land. We were on the mothership the entire 2 trips that we were there. So we got fuel every day. The mothership is now our restaurant, our gas station, our parts store, our bar. It serves all its purposes. So the commitment that we made, the funding and the time on water, it's there to catch big fish. And when we do get the right one on, it's hard to say, but we have pretty good estimates. But so far on the world tour, we let 2 go, that's probably 950. And then we lost 5, that was over the 1,000 mark. And I would tell you, every time we lose one of those fish, it's obviously disappointment. But it really depends on how you lost the fish. So sometimes a particular fish you're not going to catch no matter what. And sometimes just bad luck. The one in Brazil, the biggest one, it was just bad luck. We fought the fish the entire way.
I think I don't know.
We were talking on the way back. since the world tour started, I think I can count on my mind. We lost 6 fish that way. So this fish, it was the full fight. It was done. This fish was done. It was coming up, and you know, just one of those things where you got it on the hooter, and then as soon as you start coming tight, the head comes up and slides right off the bill. So you know, all you can do is just try to adjust and keep going. But you can't let it get you down. But it is obviously very disappointing. But you can't let it's just fishing. You can't let it get you down. You know, catching these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 pound fish is addicting. I don't think it's reversible. Well, good morning, day 1, Lake 5. We are all pretty amped up right now after a 41-day break. We're just all talking that, trying to find the rhythm of the world tour, traveling and taking care of business at home. Probably 20 days to 25 days is the right sort of break. We were going hard sometimes with only 14 days of break, so just trying to pace ourselves a little bit. Brazil was just completely mysterious, and we really made some lifetime memories in Brazil. But here we are. We're in Africa, Cape Verde, off the coast of the mainland. This area is known as Jurassic Park, so hopefully that lives up to its name. We have 13 days, weather permitting. Lake 5 is very exotic. We'll get back at you. So the mothership gives us the opportunity to be mobile, particularly at a place like Cape Verde. Cape Verde has multiple islands and the fish move around. And as the fish moves around, the mothership moves with it. So at the end of the day, the game boat, which is the Spencer 57, don't have to go back to the marina, which is Mandela. It goes to any particular island with an anchorage where the 150 is at, and then we just tie up to the 150.
Hey y'all, so we're going to talk about our pitch baits today. We caught these beautiful big eye tunas off of fat a few days ago. We've been brining them up, keeping them cold. Those are our big pitch baits. Little pitch baits, we're using flying fish. Smaller marlin come up, we're pitching those. So basically with the pitch, any fish that comes up on our teaser, Steve's going to wind that teaser away from him, and Anthony's going to come back and pitch those baits back depending on what size it is. So larger size fish, we're pitching that big eye tuna. Smaller fish, we're pitching that flying fish, and hopefully get them to switch over and get a good bite. This is our pitch rod right here, our large pitch rod, a Penn 70. We're using 530 liter on this. Small pitch rod, we got a Talica 50. That's the one that we rig our flying fish on. So waiting for those to come up on the teaser. Everything else, we're running 4 hooks out the back. Long corner, short corner, long rigger, short rigger. Hopefully they come up on the teasers because it's a pretty fun bite.
the year. We had a double, and we had 2 more fish. Maybe you call it a triple, maybe almost a quad. But that was something else. Cape Verde fishing.
So Omni is just another tool. It's a controversial because it's a leap in advancement in technology for us fishermen. And it's also controversial because not everybody can afford it because it's pretty darn expensive. But then again, they're constantly out of stock because everybody is buying them. But if you really look at it as fishermen, all we're trying to do is try to outsmart the fish. We're trying to figure out where they live, where they're at, when are they going to eat, what do they want to eat, and ultimately how to catch them and be successful. The Omni is a tool that is an amazing advantage for those that have it available to them. It is probably the single most potent piece of machinery that you can have. But so does a depth sounder, so is a GPS, so is a nice boat, so is a great cockpit, gear, reel, everything comes together. I mean, fishing is all about minimizing your risk of losing that fish and increasing your odds of hooking that fish. So between those intersections, hopefully you have a successful day or a trip. Early. It's only 7 o'clock and we just had a nice 700-pound plus one on, got in the chair and pulled the hook. So that's fishing.
Well, we got 2 more days here. The last couple of days have been a little bit more crafty than at other times. Our hookup ratio hasn't been the best. I think we're like 3 for 8 and saw 2 more that didn't bite. And you can see this beautiful backdrop here. A couple giant volcanoes. This is the rim of one here and another one over to the left up in there. The furthest we're gonna go today is probably about 5 miles. A few bigger fish caught out here yesterday and we got high hopes.
What happened today?
All the fish that we've caught, up to 900 plus, and there's a couple that we let go that is probably 950 plus, and we can argue whether or not they would have made the mark or not, but every one of those fish, with the exception of 2, we have beat the fish in less than 30 minutes. They are the apex of what's in the ocean, right? You know, we can argue, you know, sharks and orcas, but if you really look at it, they are the kings or the queens of the ocean. They're at the very top of their food chain, and you know they know where their groceries are constantly. They don't get to 600, 700, 800, 1,000, 1,500 pounds not knowing what their grocery store is. You know, once in a while you catch a skinny blue marlin, but that's more the exception, right, rather than standard. The standard blue marlin that we see through the tour is just husky and big and massive and strong. So why do they take a 8.5 knot plastic lure when there is hundreds of tons of food that they can eat at will? Simple. And that is that food belongs to them. They believe that that food is theirs and they can go in and eat at will. And the bait fish needs to behave, because if they don't behave, they get whacked. That's why they swim in tight schools. Well, when you have a set of lures running by, well, those are a bait fish that is swimming out of line. Azores is a feeding spot, right? Fish are a lot more committed behind the lure in Azores. And there's a lot of other spots where you get a crash bite and then they don't even come back. So you don't even have a chance to really, you know, do a switch. In the situation like that, the marlin just wants to come up and kill. It doesn't necessarily even want to eat. It just wants to kill it. Because the predatory senses is thinking, okay, you're out of line, I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
This is going to be one of the most epic trips ever. And unfortunately, I won't be able to go, but Jake's going to be coming.
Hey, no one could be as exciting as this dork right here.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be on this trip, but he's got a legitimate excuse not to come with us, so you better come next time.
I will.
But it's month 10 of the world tour.
Yep.
This is leg 5. We've been to Brazil, we've been to Australia, we've been to Madeira, Azores, and this is the second trip of Cape Verde. We're gonna be hopping around islands, should be landing around 0600, 0700. Get to the boat right away. These guys are gonna, you know, the crew is, the fishing team's traveling with us. They need a few hours to get the boat ready, and then we're fishing. Dude, we don't need any sleep. We don't need any sleep. We're going fishing.
I know, right?
Trip 1 was amazing because it was our first time going into Cape Verde, and the Cape Verde just looks like the moon. There's hardly any green, there's hardly any vegetation, lots of wind and lots of dust. You know, it blows off that Sahara dust, but the difference between trip 1 and trip 2 actually had more fish for us on the average. I think we did 23 to 25 fish in 9 days. And then on trip 1, I think we had a low 2 fish average. But each trip we see a monster. And you know, they don't get big for being stupid. We always, you know, tend to lose the big ones. But every time we go there, somebody sees a 1,200 pounder, 1,300 pounder. And some of the bigger ones, man, they're hard to catch.
You boys ready? We're in Cape Verde, Grander Marlin territory.
That's not everything.
One down, one to go. Well, we made it here to Cape Verde, kind of a whirlwind tour. Took off last night, showed up here, wind's blowing, it's always blowing here. And we're getting all the tackle ready. David's rigging some baits over here in the corner. Woody's getting the dredge ready. Kevin's running around getting all the tackle ready, and we're getting ready to get out of here and give it the afternoon.
Our goal, no doubt right now, 100% of the time, is just successful execution. So we want to be able to go to 2025 and go to 2026. 2025 is our goal, but we'd like to stretch it out to 2026. But this world tour, the traveling and the logistics and the management, it's not sustainable. This is not something that you can just continue to do. It is a full-time job for everybody, including myself. So we want to stretch it out to 2025, 2026, and just stay healthy, stay out of trouble, and maximize our chances, and whatever the fishing gives us, it gives us. We're 60 pounds right now. 60 pounds don't do it. Not on a fish like this. Happy birthday, Steve!
This flight's been about, I don't know, 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
Like all the way. Holy shit, I've never seen that before.
That's the hook.
Oh wow, the hook came out, is it in the tail? Oh wow, it just let its stomach open.
Holy cow. Like all the way.
Let it fly.
incredible.
You're fine with it.
That's what we do. So I'd rather lose a fish by pulling too hard and not pulling hard enough. At some point during the fight, it started to slide. The hook slid. We think because the hook opened because of the pressure, and it's just started to work its way all the way down the body. And you know, lucky for us, we always kept pressure, and that hook had an opportunity to continue to be effective rather than having slack line throwing it out. And it worked through the entire short length of the fish. I mean, it's unfortunate, but now, you know, at least there's food value for the village on the island instead of just, you know, sinking out. But I don't know how to stay attached. The hook is halfway open, so we'll bring it on board now.
Gosh, that's dirty.
124. 17 and a quarter. 17 and a quarter, 124 by 66.
We harvested one because it was my personal best, and that was early in the World Tour. The other ones we harvested because they, you know, they didn't survive the fight. They died. And that happens, and it's unfortunate, but the odds are still pretty low if you really look at it. It's less than 2%. And when that happens, you know, the locals have a feast.
In the weight, $1,000.
915.
915, 950. What you got, Cap?
875. 859.
925. It's all yours.
I got a high of 830 and a low of 809. So probably 820. Who won?
We donated to the locals. One fish was donated to the orphanage, and then in Africa we donated it to a local community. So none of it went to waste, that's for sure. We brought the fish on board, and we ended up donating or giving all the fillets back to the village because, you know, people there love blue marlin for food value. And then we hauled the boat, hauled ass back to the marina, got in a car, jumped in the jet, and landed in Turkey 6 hours later. So that's the beauty of, you know, having private aircraft, so it gets you there a lot faster.
Salih!
Good morning, Anthony.
How are you?
I'm fine. Good to see you here.
Good to see you. We made it.
Yes.
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, sir.
Hi.
Ufuk is the
Hi.
Dana Natalia project manager.
Hi, how are you?
Ucher is responsible for interior.
AJ.
Good morning, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing? Good to see you. How are you? You're right. Good to see you. Just have a little bit nice. Rested?
Yeah, excited.
See that hole there? That yellowish.
Yeah.
They pull that out. That's
I got it.
it was gigantic. It was much bigger than I thought. It's amazing. 25 feet could seem so much bigger than the 150. But it's a lifelong dream. It's a signal that I may have an opportunity to really do this world tour. Because without that 175, you couldn't do The World Tour started June of 2022, and since then we've caught, I think, 194 billfish, of which 142 are from this calendar year, 2023. So we've had a tremendous amount of good luck, and not to say we're having bad luck now and we're paying it back, but just putting everything in perspective. Some of this is just routine maintenance because we have used the snot out of our equipment. So at some point they're going to need some attention. But we lost a motor on September 7th, and that was sort of the beginning of our string of headaches. September 10th, just pure bad luck. Brand new MTUs failed on the brand new build on our 175 mothership, and then they repaired it. And then it blew up again. And when it blew up the second time, then the motor is now, you can't even repair it because it went into the crank and back into the oil. The Antalya Turkey 175 crew, keep in mind that boat was originally planned to be splashed in April. So you can imagine what that crew feels like. You join, the yachting lifestyle because you want to be out in the ocean. And you're land-based for almost a year now because it was supposed to splash by April, and then it pushed out to May, pushed out to July, and now all of a sudden with an engine failure, we're pushed out to April of next year. So keeping everybody's head in the game and keeping a solid attitude is a bit of a challenge.
That's a shot! Yeah! Go, go! Hit it! That's a shot! Bring that teaser!
That's why we do this right there. All this time, planning, headaches, days, hours on water, right there. That's it. Right there. That was it. That was it. That was it.
Is that thing rolling up there? Yeah. Facing backwards?
That's the addiction right there. And that was illegally caught fish in every way. So there's a difference between illegally caught fish and a kill. That fish was 758, maybe 8 plus. If that fish was a grander, it would have been legally caught. But the difference between legally caught and a killed fish is hemispheres apart. So a release or a tiger release and a kill, 2 different sectors. Getting that animal subdued and captured and on board is a different game. You have to be precise in nails to take a fish like that, especially when they're hot, like this one was. This one was very hot. Green. It was very green. It was very hot.
Well, we're getting ready for the World Cup. Our 5 blades just showed up. Felt like they fished a little bit better than the 4 blades we had on there. So we had those all tuned up. We're gonna pop them on here, and as soon as we're all done here, put our new fridge in, we're out of here. Go find a few. The World Cup is the largest blue marlin caught anywhere in the world in their time zone between 8:30 in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon. You can fish them anywhere, and it's the biggest one is the one that takes it. So we're in one of the earlier time zones. Hopefully we'll get a big one. We'll have everybody sweating. Hawaii is one of the last time zones, so that sometimes they wake up and it's like, there's already been an 800 wade. It just makes it that much tougher. But the World Cup's one of the biggest tournaments in the world. It's epic. It's just a great thing to be a part of. That's it. Winner takes all.
To me, the most aggressive fish that I've encountered has been here in Cape Verde. They're wild and very unpredictable. My name is Brian Morton, OB, people call me, and I'm the lead crewman on the boat. Leading the fish is just kind of an instinctual thing to try to read which way they're going to go and keep up with them and lead them to where you need them to be as safely as possible. I've worked with the Bad Company and Anthony and Steve for the past 20 plus years, from Kona to Cabo to now doing all of this world tour business. So, you know, we just work really well together, and I think in this tight quarters, it really takes that to get along with one another and understand one another, to not really get on each other's nerves. You know, when I first started working with Anthony, I thought, man, this guy is really driven to catch a grander, but I was wrong. I think the guy just enjoys fishing so much, and as I've got to know him and have been with him over the years, I could see this passion just keeps developing, and his horizons just keep broadening, and it's exciting, and it keeps us going, you know.
Representing, fishing the World Cup, high hopes. Day number 5 for us. You know, when you get to sort of the tail end of the season here, fishing is a little bit erratic, and right now it's erratic. 4 days, we had 2 bites, caught one around 275, but we're saving up all our luck for today, 4th of July World Cup. I don't know, $1 million on the line. We don't fish tournaments anymore. I stopped fishing tournaments after 20 plus hard years, 2016. So this is the only tournament that we fish, and we never got close. We weighed, I think, 2 fish before. Watch yourself. In Hawaii, when we used to have a boat in Hawaii. So we have high hopes, man. We're rooting for all the boys here today. Cape Verde, I think, has caught 3 of the last 4-year winners. So wish us luck.
Zone anywhere in the world. 8:30 to 4:30. Any second. Any second. Start fishing.
All right, so we're here at Cape Verde. We had the World Cup here today for us and all these other boats. Had one opportunity at a nice fish, didn't quite connect with it. So far, one qualifier from Bermuda, and tomorrow's another day. Happy 4th of July.
It's been a slow trip. Second slowest trip of the tour. And we're hoping to pull it out here in the night, but it's not looking good. In the Azores, baby.
You guys don't catch shit.
Feel a little sad, actually. Kind of weird, you know. This thing's gonna, we just calculated, it's gonna do 17,000 nautical miles in the first year of the World Tour. I'll tell you what, she never let us down. She never let us down, so. All right. I'm just pumped, it's happening. You know, these hundreds of hours and a lot of funding and lots of chaos, lots of planning. Tomorrow is it.
Hey, goodbye, goodbye.
Here we go, right now.
This is unreal. You guys are the best. You guys are living every fisherman's dream.
Season 1 in my own words. Boy, it's been the most amazing opportunity I've been afforded in my entire life, for certain. The adventure has been pretty unbelievable. 66 years old, it's the most amazing thing I've been a part of. And super blessed that we got to do it and safely, and got to see a lot of really cool stuff, some giant fish, and just awesome places. A lot of cool people. Anthony's passion for fishing, watching his energy level, I think boosts everybody's energy level up. And you know, we're putting in long, hard days, man, and it's still fun. I don't think we've had a bad day. Like, I can't remember one. Can't remember one where anybody in the crew was disappointed or anything, you know. And I think a lot of that just feeds off of Anthony's energy.
We broke the autopilot one day. We broke the sonar a couple of days, and oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
If anybody has the means to be able to go to these places that we're going and experiencing, I would go to every one of them. I wouldn't have missed anything. I would tell all my friends or acquaintances, go to Madeira, go to the Azores, go to Cape Verde, go to Brazil.
One man's passion, his lifelong passion, that's the heartbeat of this whole program. And he challenges us to be better and always do our best. For me, it's been kind of a dream come true. I've got to experience some giant fish, got to experience some exotic locations, got to experience some really cool people. It's not easy. I mean, we're away from our families, we're away from our friends. But on the flip side of that, we're getting to enjoy our passion in like the most top-notch level that there is.
Proud of the fact that it went off without a hitch. The tally for fishing is the last thing you worry about. You want to make sure that personnel, health, laws, safety, all of that is important. And fishing will come.
Right.
And it did. 106 billfish, 46 of the 106 were over 500. It's documented. It's going to be something that my grandkids will see one day. It'll live forever. And you know, what we're doing right now is pretty spectacular. Not supposed to get sentimental about machinery. Yeah. Right.
Let's have dinner.
What time do you guys want to do dinner? 7:45?
Sure. Whatever's comfortable.
7:45?
If people have always asked, you know, when are you going to get it to your grand? I have no idea. I might die without one. But I would tell you that, you know, we have to live for the present. Every one of these trips, I enjoy it immensely, to the point where I want to document it and I want to reproduce it. I want to record it in a video that my grandchildren will see one day. And we're just having a great time. You know, if we get our lifetime fish, hopefully we do. That's our goal. But if we don't, that's the way things go. And regardless, we want to look back and say, did we put ourselves in the best position? And did we do everything within our control to execute the world tour the way it's supposed to be executed? And then you just let things fall. Let things end up where they end up. You know, hopefully we'll get one, and that's our plan. But if we don't, we don't.
All right. Very sad. It's like a end of a chapter is closing, but a new one's beginning.
Year one, done. Bittersweet, proud, put it together. Everybody's good. Good. On to year two.
Pretty cool place. Pretty cool place. really kind of a blessing, huh? At the end of the day. It'd be killer if I fell in right now.